Hi guys, I just want to do a quick video to teach you what grit is, how to use it, and basically all about sandpaper. The best sandpaper to use on wood is aluminium oxide or garnet. So I got these mouse sander ones off Amazon. I've also got some orbital sander ones as well, and they come in a big pack. And you've pretty much got everything from like P40 to P400. So the coarseness of sandpaper is referred to as grit, and this is indicated on the back of sandpaper as a P number, so P200, P100, etc. And this is FEPA grit, which is just international FEPA standard. So when you're sanding wood, there's obviously going to be different grits that you need depending on the job. The general rule for sandpaper grit is the lower the number, the harsher the grit, the higher number, the smoother the grit. A high number sandpaper will obviously take off less material but give you more control. So the harder you press, the more that comes off. Whereas the lower numbers are best for, sanding down rough edges and just taking away as much material as possible. Generally, when using sandpaper, you want to work from a low number to a high. If you are sanding a rough piece of wood, taking off some wood filler, or just generally trying to get rid of roughness as quick as possible, you should start low, so P40, P60, P80, and that will take off really, really quickly. If you're sanding a piece of wood that you then want to paint, you should start off with a P100 and go up in increments, so P20, P40, P60, P80, up to 220, 240. That's going from rough to smooth, so you take off the roughness each sort of time and then end on a smoothing sort of finishing grit. If you're sanding a piece of wood that you then want to stain, it's better to go from a 100 to a 150, again in increments. If you're sanding between coats of paint, it's best to go for about a 180, a 160, 180, 200, that kind of mid-range grit. In the 300s and 400s, you're not going to use them that often, but it's always good to have them. Sandpaper comes in a few different types. This is a mesh one, which basically has a lot of air holes through to allow the dust to be sucked up into the unit and into the dust bag if it has one. And this is just a felt backed one which has holes in, which does the same. It just sucks up the dust and gets rid of it. There are lots of different types of sanders. So this is a mouse sander. I've also got an orbital sander. You can get a belt sander. There's loads of different types. What I like most about a mouse sander, and why it should be part of your sort of starter DIY kit, is that it can get into nooks and crannies really, really well, because there's a little point you can really get into corners. This one is battery powered and comes with a little dust bag so that there's not as much dust in the air when you use it. You can get a wide variety of sandpaper online. I got this huge pack from Amazon. A good thing to note when looking for sandpaper online as well is if you're buying from a mouse sander, you'll want one that has these little tear off extra bits. Essentially, the point of the nose is what you're going to use the most. So it comes with 2 spare bits. So for when this top bit is worn, you can just replace that bit without having to replace the entire sheet. A lot of sanding tools already come with sandpaper, but they don't come with a wide selection, so you may want to stock up more. Obviously, as you use them, they will degrade and you'll need to get some more anyway. If you only have to have 3 grits, I'd recommend an 80, a 120, and a 240 or a 220. So you've got the take off as much as possible grit, which is the 80. You've got the medium do it all 120, and you've got the 220, 240 for the smoothing of the material.